What's going on, everyone? My name is Sunny and welcome back to the Glassbox YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going over a quick skin fade tutorial on Afro-textured hair. Let's get into it. So this is our model Richard today, and we're going to be just blasting in a quick skin fade. Now, first thing I want to be very mindful of is I want to make sure all the hair is laying properly where it wants to be. Especially with very dense curls, I have to come at it in multiple different directions. Unlike straight hair, I can't just go in one direction all the way up, because then you're going to get curls that aren't going to catch in the blade. So then you also have to come at it maybe from a downward position or from the side. So the first thing we're going to want to do is take a number 2 and remove the bulk. Now again, like I previously mentioned, we're going to want to come up, and then we will notice that some of the hair that didn't catch, we're going to have to come in a downward stroke just to flatten that out. Perfect. So now our bulk is removed, but I still might want to bring it down just another level. So I'm going to go in with my 1.5 guard and bring it down just a little bit more. So now this still looks a little bit heavy as for the bulk, so I'm going to go in with my 1.5 guard open and work my way down. There we are. Now this is a much more cleaner canvas to work with. Okay, from this point, now we can begin the fading process and put in our bald line. Okay, perfect. Now we're going to be going in with our bald line. That would be our 0. And I'm looking for something right there, just where the temple is, and working our way down as we approach the back of the head. Now, I don't want to go too high because I want to leave enough space so that I can fade. Now, moving on to our 1 guard open. Now, we previously went down with it. However, when we start moving in an upwards motion, it is going to take off a different amount of hair. Perfect. Now you'll notice that while I'm fading, I'm constantly using the brush to make sure that the hair is sitting in the right place. Because if I just continue fading it and moving the hair around, it's going to end up looking really messy and the fade's not going to look as smooth. Onto my number 1, and I'm going just below where I brought my number 1.5. Again, every time I want to come from a downward position again, just so I can smoothen out any inconsistencies. Okay, now, usually when it comes to fading, you would put in your 0 line, your 0.5 line, your 1, your 2. Today we're going to be working something that I feel like is maybe a little more efficient. So you'll notice that we went with the 1, and now I'm immediately going in with my 0.5, my no guard open. Okay. Perfect. So now this almost looks 90% complete. Now we just have to get rid of the 0 line, which we can play around with our lever, whether you want to use the 0, maybe you want to start with halfway point, now we can just take a look at the hair and knock out any bald spots, or sorry, dark spots with the corner of our blade. And there you go. Now, I find it's always great to follow a system, whatever your system is with fading. But ultimately, I think what makes a fade really crisp is the level of detail and extra attention that you give. Ultimately, it's just a very visual process. Perfect, so we've completed one side, and what we do on one side, we will repeat on the other side. Perfect. Now we can move on to the right side of the head, which is our last panel. And that should be fairly easy for us to complete.
Spin it back. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so now can you say that again?
Yep.
Like the, okay, so now we're gonna do the other panel.
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
So now that we've completed the left side of the back, all we have left is the right side. And this panel should be fairly easy as we are pretty much 90% complete. Now, as previously mentioned, I'm always combing or brushing the hair down, and I want to be conscious of the curl pattern, of the direction that the hair is growing. And you can kind of notice that. You can see these waves start to form. That's what you want. Also, if I must say, when you're working with Afro-textured hair, 90% of the time, do not use one of these foil shavers, okay? This is gonna be too harsh on the follicle, and it actually ends up causing a lot of ingrown hairs. Because the hair is so curly, once it gets that short and that tight to the skin, it ends up curling underneath the epidermis. When you're working with Afro-textured hair, please avoid using any sort of shaver. Now all that's left is just to put in some detailing, and I'm just point cutting into any dark areas that I want to lighten up and touching up just a little bit. Okay, so now we've completed the fade on both the back and the sides, and all we have to do is finish it up with a crisp lineup. Now, one thing that we also have to be mindful of when it comes to lining up the hairline, especially when it comes to Afro-Caribbean hair, is that you ultimately have to have enough hair laying down so that it is thick enough for when you're doing the lineup that it comes out nice and dark. Needs enough density in there. So don't be too worried if you might be going a little bit high, as long as we're creating enough density on the hairline. Perfect. Now, very similarly to how we approached the sides and the back, all we gotta do is take this bulk out. Now this is sitting very nicely on the hairline, and it's going to be much easier for me to line that up. Now, I know that might look or feel a little scarier, but as you see, once the hair lays normally, it looks just fine. Now, I personally like to begin my lineup at the center, as opposed to starting from the corners, because sometimes one corner can be higher than the other, and it's hard to create symmetry that way. So let's focus on the center first and work side to side. Another great trick I like to use is sometimes I'll spray the hairline with a little bit of hairspray and just comb that down a little further, just so that the hair is going to be in the right spot and it's going to make it look extra crispy. Now, you'll notice that I'm placing my middle finger on his forehead, and this is just so I can create stability, so I'm not floating around while I'm creating this lineup. That is looking very beautiful. Perfect. So we faded the sides, we faded the back, we've done our lineup, and all that's left is for us to quickly use our straight razor just to make this lineup extra crispy. And we're also gonna blend out the sideburns just a touch. Now, when you're working with the straight blade, you want to make sure that you're creating high tension on the skin. Okay, so I'm pulling the skin in the opposite direction that I'm moving my razor, coming at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to be showing you a very simple and quick method to blend out the sideburns. Slash into the beard. Okay, we don't have to work with guidelines either. We can come just straight down following the direction that the hair is growing. I'm going in with my 0.5 guard and just blending right into the beard, then straight into my 0. And there you have it. Cool, and there you have it. We've given Richard a nice clean skin fade, right? A couple things to be mindful of is the direction of the hair growth pattern, and you never ever want to be using a shaver on Afro-textured hair. How are you feeling?
Amazing, bro. You killed me.
Appreciate it, man. All right, there you have it. Hope that was very informative and very helpful for you. You can bring that back to your barbershop or salon and maybe test that out yourself. Please like, subscribe, and follow our channel for more upcoming videos, more education. And again, my name is Sunny from Glassbox Barbershop. See ya.